I don't have parents. My father was never around since I was born. My mother, who was a pastry chef, passed away in a traffic accident 3 years ago. As her only daughter, I got a pendant she cherished as her keepsake. The pendant is small and has cute parts with motif of cake. I have been wearing it every day. I had never known the background of this pendant. Maybe a gift from my father. Now, I'll never know. One morning, as usual, I put my 2-year-old son on my bike and dropped him off at daycare before heading to work.
Bye, Mommy.
Be a good bye. I'm a single parent living with my son, Jaden. The divorce was due to domestic violence, and child support payments have been delayed. I'm going to do my best for my son today as well. Jaden is my precious treasure, so adorable. Arriving at work, there was a morning assembly.
I'm afraid I have some bad news for everyone.
The manager said in a serious tone.
Our bio division is disbanding due to poor performance. You all will all be laid off at the end of next month.
Hey, what's going on here?
Too sudden. How are we supposed to deal with it?
The staff started buzzing in shock. The words, "lay off," hit my head so heavily. Laid off? I have to raise my son. I must find a new job before the end of next month. I started job hunting online immediately. I can't accept the compy that pays less than now. I need to earn enough to send him to college. But it was hard to find a good job. Even when I passed the document screening, I always got rejected in the interviews.
I see you have a young child. Young kids tend to follow easily. What would be your plan in such situations?
I might have to leave early or take a day off.
Okay, but
Interviewers always frowned at my answer. Companies avoid hiring employees like me. I got so many job interviews, but rejected by all over and over again. The job search was much harder than I imagined for a single parent with a 2-year-old. What if I can't find a job? I was at a loss. The word despair crossed my mind. That's when it happened. At a job fair, I paused in front of one booth. The content displayed on this monitor screen. It's the same project I was in charge of. Of course, the project will be terminated since the department is being dissolved. All my hard work, I thought, watching the screen. Then a staff member from the company spoke to me.
Are you from the same industry?
Yes, but I'm being laid off at the end of this month. Seeing no point in pretending, I spoke honestly. Then the staff offered me a company brochure, saying,
Next month, our department is conducting mid-career recruitment exams. If you're interested, please consider applying.
"Thank you," I replied, accepting the brochure and leaving the booth. The company was a well-known corporation. The recruitment process probably will have an incredibly high competition ratio. I was so sure I'd be rejected again as usual. Still, I decided to send in my resume, thinking it was worth a shot. To my surprise, I passed the document screening and swiftly made it to the final interview. By then, I had been laid off from my previous job and was out of work. I was living off my little savings and doing daily employment. If I miss this opportunity, there will be no chance. On the morning of the interview day, just like always, I gazed at my mother's photo. "Mom, I have an important interview today. Please watch over me." After speaking to my mother in heaven, I lifted up my son. "Mommy has a very important interview today. Can you say good luck for me?"
Yeah, go for it, Mommy.
With his childlike, unclear speech, my son encouraged me. "Thank you, Jaden." I hugged my son, nuzzling his soft cheeks. When I arrived at the interview venue, about 10 other candidates were there. "Only 2 of us will be chosen." I was nervously waiting for my turn. After a short wait, my name was called, and I entered the interview room. The interviewers were 2 people: the staff who spoke to me at the exhibition, and a woman in her 40s. I don't know why, but the woman seemed more interested in the pendant on my chest than in my face. I wonder if wearing it to the interview was not appropriate, I thought, and felt a bit of regret. It was my mother's keepsake, and I wore it for good luck. But what should I do if I failed due to this pendant? My anxiety grew, but it was too late to change the situation. The interview progressed smoothly with various questions. Finally, the woman said,
"Where did you get that pendant from?"
I was startled. "It was my mother's keepsake." As I answered, her face momentarily turned sad.
"Your mother's name was Mary, wasn't it?"
Her words took me by surprise. "Yes. Did you know her?"
"Yes, an old acquaintance. I'm sorry to hear she passed away,"
she murmured. Then, as if pulling herself together, she returned to a formal tone.
"That's all for the interview. We'll contact you later with the results."
The next day on Saturday, while I was at home, the woman interviewer called me. I thought it was a call about the interview results, but she said,
"I've come close to your place now. May I drop by for a bit?"
Of course, I said, "Okay." After a while, she arrived at my house.
"Sorry for the sudden visit,"
she said, offering a box of cake.
"If you'd like, please accept."
"Thank you." I took the cake out of the box and placed it on a plate. She gazed at the photograph and closed her eyes. Meanwhile, I made some tea and arranged the rest of the cake on a plate on the table. After a while, she turned to me, bowed her head, and said,
"I received a big help from your mother during her life."
"What was your relationship with my mother?" When I asked, she shared a story from the past.
"I met Mary when I was 12 years old. It's been nearly 30 years ago from now. My mother had cancer, and I didn't have a father. On my mother's birthday, with her limited time left, I wanted to buy her favorite cake. So I went to the cake shop where Mary was working. But the money I had saved from my allowance wasn't enough. I wanted a whole decorated cake. So I thought I'd make it myself and started visiting the cake shop every day to peek inside. The cake shop had a glass-fronted kitchen, so I could see the cakes being made and hoped to learn how to make by watching, but no matter how much I watched, I couldn't grasp the way. When I was at a loss, Mary came out from the kitchen and spoke to me.
You've been coming here every day, but are you trying to learn how to make cakes?
I want to give my mom a cake because she's going to heaven soon. It's her last birthday, but I don't have enough money, so I thought I'd make it myself. But no matter how many times I come to see you, I can remember how to make it.
I see. That's stuff for your mom. Well, then I'll make a cake for you for free.
Really? For free? But my mom always says not to trouble others.
How about we make it together? You'll pay for the ingredients, so it's not entirely free.
Really?
Of course.
Thank you.
And on the day before my mother's birthday, I went to Mary's house.
Let's get started. I've prepared all the ingredients. That's it. Mix the whipped cream. Yes, like that. Like that.
I made a decoration cake with Mary's guidance. Mary was very kind and taught me how to make it carefully. Then, I took the finished cake to the hospital where my mother had been hospitalized.
Happy birthday, Mom. Look, a present. I made this cake.
Well, that's amazing. What a splendid cake. You did a great job.
My mother was very happy and praised me, patting my head. After that, we had a little birthday party in the hospital room. My mother couldn't eat the cake, but she looked so happy. It was the last time to see her joyful smile. On the next day, my mother's condition got worse, and she passed away. I was in shock, so I couldn't thank Mary for a while, but after some time had passed, and my emotions had settled, I went to the cake shop.
Oh, I wondered who it was. It's been a long time.
Thank you for that time. I'm so glad I learned to make the cake. Also, I made this as a gift of my gratitude. I'm good at making jewelry.
I gave her a pendant I had made myself. She was very pleased. And that's the pendant you're wearing now.
Hearing this story, I involuntarily clutched the pendant at my chest. And then, she continued her story.
Afterward, I was taken in by relatives and moved far away, so I hadn't seen Mary since then. It's such a coincidence that I could meet Mary's daughter in a place like that.
She smiled. I didn't know what to say. Then she took out a photo from her bag.
This is a picture of my mother.
In the photo, a thin woman and a girl were surrounding a decorated cake. The woman had a very happy and warm smile.
Thanks to Mary, I was able to create some good memories with my mother in the end. I am very grateful to Mary. I have never forgotten about her all these years. Now it's my turn to pay her back. Please do join our company. Your qualifications are excellent. We'll support you on days your child is unwell. You can take time off if needed.
I took her hand and we shook hands firmly. Thank you. I'll do my best. I felt a very strange mix of emotions. There was the joy of getting a job and the relief that came with it, combined with the deep emotions stirred by recalling the kindness my mother had shown to a little girl 30 years ago. And also I felt respect for my mother and gratitude for the fate that had brought this woman and me together. Overwhelmed by a mix of emotions, I found myself shedding a few tears. Then my son came up and patted my head, asking, "Mommy, what's wrong?" "It's okay, don't cry." He comforted me, making me cry even more. "You know, Mommy's crying because I'm happy," I told him, hugging him tightly. Since joining the workforce at her company, I've been able to use my knowledge and experience with satisfying job. My salary is even higher than at my previous company. Now I can save up for Jaden's tuition. This morning, like always, I placed a cake in front of my mother's photo and prayed, "Mom, thank you for always watching over me." At that moment, Jaden came beside me and said to my mother's photo,
"Please look after Mom. I'll do my best too."
"Oh, how reliable." I hugged my son's soft body tightly